Greetings and peace, everyone. My name is Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. And I'm going to give some quick background about myself. I am what's called a personal development consultant and relationship consultant, relationship anatomist, and also I am a book author and blog writer. So for me, ever since 2006, I have been studying relationships, examining, and really investigating relationships of various sorts. And I have amassed a great amount of information from my studies. And I realized at one point in my life, after a breakup with a woman, somewhere around that time, 2006, that's when I realized that relationships are actually something that need to be learned before jumping into them. And also my realization from studying relationships early on is that not even parents realize that they have to learn about relationships before they actually jump into them. And that's one of the reasons why their children's relationships are dysfunctional, because the parents did not do their job to be able to pass on the information to their children. And a lot of parents, they do a lot of things prematurely, including having children, let alone jumping into relationships before they're actually psychologically prepared. And as I mentioned a lot about being psychologically prepared in my relationship mindset video, so you can go back and check that out. Relationship mindset, that is something that an individual must have before they jump into any form of relationships with other people. But very few people actually have the relationship mindset, so that's one major cause for a lot of dysfunctional relationships. So with that said, now I want to talk about children mirroring their parents or caretakers. I've been noticing this for quite a while, and also it helps out me studying psychology, including child psychology, and understanding the subconscious mind, and also how that when a child comes into this world, they're always constantly looking for that one adult figure to lead the way. And throughout my studies, I've learned that, with that said, that they actually mimic the children. They actually mimic all of the adults that's around them, everybody that's around them frequently, but especially the adults that they look up to. And as a child, when we all are children, what we do is we have little to no knowledge of this physical world. So we're just learning what we can based on the people, places, and things that are around us. And one major thing is parents, they really, the majority of them, from my opinion, fail to actually recognize how much of a sponge their children are, and how they soak up every little thing that the parents say and do, and they will mimic it in one shape or form somewhere in their life, whether it be right there. Well, a lot of times it's right then and there within their childhood, and also it'll get implanted in their subconscious mind, and then they'll end up replaying it later on in their life. And regarding replaying something later on in their life, I can give you an example. A man hitting a woman, many people, they get that from their childhood. They saw their father hit their mother, and also some women who hit men, they've seen their mother do it to their father, and they've seen their mother dominate the father, and the father did not stand up. He wasn't a stand-up guy, so he just accepted it. And that's what the females going to attract those type of weak men because they consistently saw weak men during their childhood, and they have not been able to see mature, strong men and what they look like and how they behave. And also, there's a lot of females along with that. They haven't done their personal development work to attract to them a strong, mature guy, because there's a lot of females that they focus more on their physical appearance and their career success and or financial success. They focus so much on the material assets, material possessions, when they fail to focus more on their mental health and their mental development, so that they can increase their intelligence and just be overall an attractive person and have a attractive character where they can actually bring something to a relationship. And a lot of people fail to actually understand that aspect of themselves in general too. It's not just females, but also that goes to males. Okay, so back to what I'm talking about regarding the children. So those are some examples of how they mirror their parents. And the parents literally have all of the power to implant whatever they want into their children, whether it be destructive or productive things into their children. However, if you really study and examine a lot of parents, you'll see that there's a large portion of parents who fail to actually educate their children consistently and lead by positive example. And that's because the parents themselves have not did their personal development process, been through that, so that they can raise themselves up and be able to provide positive, mature advice to their children. So if you really look at a lot of parents, especially those consumer parents who just consume and just eat, and then they just buy their children game consoles, tablets, and phones, and just push them to the side. And then while the parent is just either away in the room watching TV, or they're away at work, or they're doing some other mundane thing, rather than actually teaching their children. So then the children are pushed to the side, and then the parents aren't providing a positive, mature example to lead by, so that the children can actually follow. So then the children end up being consumers who are zombies. Like, they have zombie-like minds. They're not very intelligent. They don't have much of a personality. And then if you actually look at them versus children who actually were raised to a higher level and was really educated by their parents, they have books in their room that they read often. They watch little to no TV, and then the parents are actually in the child's life, playing with them and teaching them a variety of life blocks that they can build with. You can see the difference between those children versus the zombie-like children. The mature children that have mature parents or caretakers, they have an abundant, attractive character that where people actually want to speak with them and be around them, those children, and play with them. But then you have the zombie-like children who don't do anything but sit around, watch TV, watch their tablets. They don't read. They don't even understand. They don't even reading to some children. A lot of children these days is like children drinking water, having them drink water versus Kool-Aid or juice or soda. It's like it's something that they just look as something sticky, icky. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. That type of thing. Children like that, a lot of times they grow up to be the criminals of society. They grow up to be those type of females who just create these babies, just have these babies, and they're a baby factory, and they just recycle, doing the same thing that their mother did, having all these children, and then not taking care of them. They might take care of them as far as supporting them with clothing and food. But however, there is much more to parenting than just those things. You have to literally raise the children's consciousness to a higher, mature adult level, because these are individuals who are supposed to be adults by the age of 14. If you really do your studying, the age of 14. However, in here, this American society, and it might be in a lot of other societies, maturity delay is encouraged rather than maturity early on. And you can actually tell that at the age of 14, they're naturally supposed to be thinking like an adult by the age of 14, because between 14 and 16, many teenagers actually want to start doing more adult things. And that's because in their DNA, it says that, okay, it's time to be an adult and it's time to think like an adult. However, again, they didn't get the education, the parenting, the mature adult education. So they're still children, psychologically children from 14 to 18, and sometimes even further, with a lot of young people these days, and these new generations of children. I'm not even going to say the years, but these new generations of children. So I can tell, like with me doing my research and actually investigating this, I can tell which ones are the useless eaters and the ones who didn't get the strong, mature parenting. And what gets me with these type of parents that fail to pay attention to their children, these type of parents, they get proud of buying them clothing, and they sit down and talk about, they sit down and talk more about buying outfits and new sneakers with their children more than speaking about buying new books that can help the children increase their intelligence, and also do a variety of other things. There's like no speaking of buying their children books or even going to the library. So these type of children, they sit more in front of the TV and then books themselves, and that comes from the parents. The parents have to be into books, so that it makes it much easier to be able to lead by example and pass that on to their children. And then also the other thing is leading by example is the cleanliness. If the parents or caretakers are highly dirty individuals and they're irresponsible, they throw the clothing and their shoes everywhere, then the children are more than likely to mirror that right then and there. However, if the parents are clean individuals and they're high on cleanliness, then the parent usually will be good enough so that the children will just follow their lead. However, there's some children that you actually have to teach one-on-one and be consistent with it, so that it can stick with them in their mind, so that by the time they're an adult, they're clean adults, and they can have clean rooms if they become a roommate, or a clean apartment or home, something like that. But overall, me analyzing these parents these days, I see that there's a lot of lazy parents, but at the same time, there's a lot of mature parents that's actually increasing their children's intelligence. And you can tell the difference. You can see the results in these children because of their vocabulary. And some of them are like 1 or 2 years old. They have a great vocabulary. Their comprehension of vocabulary and just speaking with them, you can have a decent conversation with them. Those type of individuals, those children, I really enjoy being around, because it's exciting speaking with them. But then you got the zombie-like children. The zombie-like children, they just want to play video games and watch TV. So it's like there's only so much you can actually do with them. And what's crazy is sometimes the parents of the zombie children, the lazy children, they'll actually project outwardly their responsibility onto other people. That's one sign of immaturity. One sign of maturity as a parent is the parent takes on full accountability of their parenting duties as far as psychological development. But a lot of parents don't understand what psychological development is, and they don't even want to focus on that aspect of their children. So it's like, if you want to have mature children who actually do good in society, then you have to put in the work as a parent early on, starting early in their childhood, and you have to be consistent with it. If you are not consistent with it, and if the child doesn't pick up on their own to just develop themselves, then the child is going to probably be a criminal or just be a useless eater, just sitting around eating and not doing anything else. So parenting is really a responsibility that is only for certain individuals. And I've learned a lot about parenting throughout my research and investigating of parenting. And I'm happy that I have this parenting information, so that in case if I ever choose to be a parent, then I actually have great amount of knowledge, and I also develop my mind to be able to do a variety of things, so that then I can be a strong, mature parent and be able to pass on maturity to my children, as parents are supposed to do. All right, so that's that. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for that. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at committedrelationships@gmail.com. That's one word, committedrelationships@gmail.com. You can also check out my website at committedrelationshipsblog.wordpress.com. That will be in the subscription. Also, there you can check out my ebook if you're interested, my Committed Relationships, the Starting Process to the Process ebook, where I share basic information about relationship insights that I have learned from my studies. And if you're big on acquiring information, and if you want to learn some good information regarding relationships, that ebook is great to actually obtain for yourself. It's a quick read. I intentionally made it basic and a quick read because I know that there's a lot of people who have short attention span. So I wanted to get straight to the point. I did not need to use any big words within the book. And the ebook is only $5. So I made it very affordable. So you can check that out on the page there. All right. Thank you very much. Comment, like, and subscribe and share. Till next time.